Hello, peeps. Chromium Cheetah is the name, but most call me Andrew, or Ace for some. Rugrats, one of the pioneering shows that put Nickelodeon on the map of stardom. Such fond memories. We all know what the show was about, starring 5 toddlers, soon expanding to 7, having adventure and fun with their wild imagination, while at the same time we get to see the daily life of babyhood. Now, to be honest, I haven't watched its earlier seasons outside of the ones I had at VHS because at the time I was a literal Rugrat myself. But I got into it during its later run, including seeing the first 2 movies, Rugrats the movie and Rugrats in Paris the movie. Speaking of which... Rugrats in Paris the movie, the game, is essentially a tie-in for the movie, developed by Avalanche Software, so already we are treading troubled waters. You can choose to play as any of the 6 titular Rugrats, Tommy, Chucky, Phil, Lil, Angelica, and Kimmy. I'm going to be playing as Phil since that's who I tend to relate to the most as a kid.
Let's just see how many of these I can fit in my diaper. Oh, give me that. Where's another one? Oh, if it's slimy, it gots to be good. This place is disgusting. I love it!
Now the story? Well, the intro would easily sum this up for you.
Usually you're a reptile amusement park, the happily place, but not today. RoboSnail got the princess trapped in a tower on the volcano. We got to save her.
Wait, this is where Reptar lives. Why doesn't he save the princess?
Reptar doesn't know she's in trouble, but there's a special helmet inside the park that helps you talk to him. If we get it, we can tell him what to do.
Wow, I didn't know anybody could tell Reptar what to do.
Suck this, Mommy.
We got to go in there and save her, you guys.
Yeah! And have fun! And ride lots of rides, too!
Yeah!
And eat lots of vermies!
And mud! Okay, so maybe that's just us.
Let's go!
So the main antagonist, the story about Chaz and Chucky meeting Kira and Kimmy for the first time and end up as a family? Not mentioned. Instead, we get this filler story in which we help Reptar rescue the princess from RoboSnail, and it amounts to mostly a filler story that allows the developers to put minimal effort with regards to script and voice acting, and instead focus on the gameplay, which in all honesty doesn't add up to much. Your objective is to collect 16 golden Reptar tickets to buy the Reptar helmet, which will allow you to control Robo Reptar. Seems to be a simple enough task after all. It is Rugrats. I don't expect them to make the game challenging. Will they? That would be pretty dickish if that were the case. There are a few ways to get the golden tickets.
I got a golden ticket!
Mostly through minigames that are spread out through the 5 sections of Reptar Land. Main entrance, Reptar Island, Ooey Gooey World, Princess Theater, and Golf Park. There's also panels scattered across the map that allow you to access exclusive minigames and meet the other Rugrats who have golden tickets themselves. Here's the catch though. You need items to access these tiles and trade with the Rugrats, and you get these items from a gift shop located in the main entrance area, and you purchase these items with red Reptar tickets.
I got a
Red.
ticket!
Unlike the golden tickets,
I got a golden...
I know when I'm beating a dead horse with a stick, so this will be the last time I use that joke. They're scattered throughout the 5 areas, and in some of the minigames as well. The gift items include toys, puzzle pieces, and the unreachable Reptar helmet. Now the gameplay. How to describe it? Pretty damn clunky? While I do like that the camera is behind the person in perspective like Resident Evil 4, so I have less to worry about the camera issues, the controls negate that. It feels like I am walking in molasses.
What do you expect? I just learned how to walk!
It's not a big problem if the overworld wasn't humongous, and so empty. Outside of me and one of the other Rugrats, the only living thing seen in the overworld is flies whisking around the trash like kites fluttering in the musty wind. On the bright side though, at least the scenery is nice and has variety with its music selection. This is just contradictory as hell. Why soothing music in an area that's essentially all about slime? Well, that's racist. The graphics are subpar at best, just generally what you expect from a movie tie-in game. And as for the music, I think there's like only about a half dozen tracks, most of which are completely unmemorable. The minigames themselves are your stark variety sorts. Baseball toss, skee ball, mini golf, hitting animatronics to make them all sing at the same time, bumper car with ninjas? Okay, so maybe these aren't your minigames in the traditional sense. I should also probably mention about the ninjas. They are there, I guess?
At least I know the alphabet. I see.
Okay, on the game's defense, they do appear in the movie, mostly as the main antagonist's henchmen, for one scene. Actually, a couple of the minigames are based on scenes from the film, particularly the Chuck E. Chan fantasy scene, and the fight between Robo-Reptar and Robo-Snail builds upon a climactic battle. But aside from that, there is little connection between the game and the movie. Anyways, back to the controls. Something I noticed, especially with regards to the minigames where you throw stuff, is that the target reticle is kind of off. Let me put it this way. The ball would always go anywhere except dead center. In the ball throwing minigame in the main entrance, for example, even when the reticle is precisely overlapping a bullseye that is stationary, the ball would just simply miss it. There is also a slight delay in the controls, in which with moving targets, you need to have the reticle be slightly ahead of the target for it to connect. It may be a minor annoyance, but when you factor in that these sorts of minigames have 3 rounds, the final round having a limited amount of balls or cookies, these quirks can stand you to missing too many shots and blowing it. Another minigame that has a similar characteristic is skee ball. If you just shuffle once to the right with the D-pad and full power it, you can score 100 points every time. Of course, it is extremely tricky to pull off thanks to the delayed reaction in the controls. There are also minigames that involve the use of bumper cars, like a variant of air hockey, 4-way balloon theft, and collecting balloons in Ooey Gooey World. However, one of the most infuriating minigames I have ever experienced is Start the Music. Simply put, you ride around in a goo-filled area hitting the robotic mascots to make them do tunes. Sounds easy, right? Well, here's the rub. Those animatronics play music for a limited time before they shut down, and you have 4 minutes to complete the task. If that isn't enough, the area is also big. And with the dark lighting mixed with the black walls, you are more than likely to miss passages that lead into other parts of the map. And if that isn't enough, each animatronic runs on a different timer, so not only you have to traverse a large dark area to find the animatronics, you need to do it in a specific order so that all the animatronics are still playing music by the time you hit the last one. Okay, now that I've beaten all the minigames, exchanged a gift with the Rugrat at the warehouse during the Robo-Reptar, and finished the puzzle minigames, I should have— What?! How am I still short of the 16 golden tickets?! Well, it turns out that with some minigames you can get a second golden ticket if you play it perfectly. But of course, that's much harder than it looks, especially when you have a limited amount of balls to use. But I did discover something that got me out of a pickle. Once you finish trading with one of the Rugrats, just only leave their warehouse and return inside. Ta-da! A new Rugrat appears, along with a new request for a golden ticket. Of course, the downside is that you would need to spend a lot of time scavenging tickets. Even with the advantage of them respawning, the items that you would need to get the tickets tend to cost quite a bit of dough. Thankfully, there's a truckload of red tickets in the warehouse, so all you need to do is traverse the boxes and— What the hell? I can't get out! Okay, don't panic. All I need to do is save my progress and restart the game. Now let's get this over with. The game saves your position. Good to know. Excuse me for a moment. That's just great. Now I have to redo the entire game from the start. Whatever, let's just get this over with. I got back all the golden tickets.
I got a golden.
No! Stop that! Me? Now. Time to get the helmet, get into Roboraptor, defeat Robosnail, and get this game done and over with. Okay. Maybe the next fight will fare much better? Third time's the charm? What the hell am I supposed to do? This is probably the single reason why I was never able to finish the game until I played this game for the review. But before I go on, I should probably state what you can do as Roboraptor. The Z button allows you to strafe to the left. A allows you to shoot limited amounts of fireballs, which you can refill with boxes that drop from the sky, while B is for claw attacks. Now that we got that out of the way, let me tell you why the fight with Robosnail is complete bull. The first annoyance is the fact that his attacks are twice as powerful as your own. It can destroy you pretty quickly. The second issue with this boss fight is that his charge time between attacks is quicker for him than it is for you. While you would have to wait between 2 to 3 seconds between attacks, Robosnail doesn't even have to wait for a full second before it can attack you. And then there is the general layout of the arena. Since it's basically downtown Paris, most of the time you have to navigate between tight corridors of the low-rises in order to run away from Robosnail. And as expected of a giant robot, he moves like a tank, so it makes the task of maneuvering around the arena more tricky. This sudden uptick in difficulty is out of nowhere, and considering this game was designed for kids in mind for its simplistic minigames, it seems really unfair. So I finally managed to beat this guy thanks to a cheap trick that's known online. I had to trap him in a sharp corner. Since he's a robot, he takes a while to turn, so in that time frame, I just pummel him with everything I got. So after all this, what is the ending? A stupid thank you from the princess, who's not even a real person, and Roboraptor dancing along with Bill. Whoopee! So what is the verdict on this? Bottom line, this is another one of those movie tie-in games that had little thought put into it and was simply shoveled out into the market to have a tie-in for the movie release. Waste of money, waste of space. This is Andrew, signing out.